Hi everyone, welcome to the Positively Crafting Podcast. My name is Nicole and I am happy to be able to sit down and talk to you guys about the things that have been going on in my life craft-wise. So let's get into it. First off, I am backlit, so if it's very difficult for anyone to see me because I am so chocolate, it is because I am sitting in a position where the window is here and it's kind of overcast-ish in my area today. Weird weather. But I really wanted to talk to you guys about my latest acquisition as far as sewing goes and show you what I am doing with this area that is formerly my dining room area to make it my personal craft area, which if the boys want to come down and hop on the sewing machine, who am I to say no? As if that will ever happen. Okay. So I'm trying to find the best setup right now as far as lighting. I mean, there isn't too much I can do because right above me is the loft where I store a lot of my knitting stuff, and there's also the family's computer. So there's a loft there, and it's just the weather. So excuse the I guess the darkness of this podcast. It won't be like that next time, promise. Okay, so for Christmas in 2015. I really asked my husband for this right here. This is a Juki TL 2010 Cute. The reason that I asked him for this particular machine was because I had seen rave reviews about it on Instagram. It was within our price range for a sewing machine. Well, it was within what I thought I could spend on myself for a tool. And because I needed a really good heavy-duty sewing machine, because I want to start selling things to, put towards the college funds, because it's coming, right? Anyways, it never happened. For Christmas, I got a mixer, and if you guys are my friends or I talk to you daily, you know how happy I was with getting something that I didn't ask for Christmas. That's my husband, all the way. So, finally we were able to, a couple of weeks ago, go and get my Juki. We got it from a sewing center in Van Nuys, California. I was thinking about driving up to San Marcos, which is about a 2-hour drive from where I live, and to get it from Sewing Machines Plus. But I could not. 2 hours when I did a search online for Juki dealers, because this is what this is, a Juki. Juki dealers, and I found that there was one in the valley that's 45 minutes pretty much, give or take, away from where I live. You get in, you get out, you go, you get the stuff, you get it back home, and then that's it. There's no 4-hour round trip, whatever, right? So we went, and as soon as I walked in, I saw the machine that I wanted, but I let them talk me through a couple of other options. And a couple of other definitely not options that I totally want now, but I don't even think that I will ever get them. So one of the options the one that I really want is is it a baby lock? It's a baby lock, I think, crescendo machine, and it's retail $5,000. $5,000. And I was like, there is no way in heck. We have teenagers. Jason will be in a size 13 shoe by the end of the year. Do you have any clue how much that costs? I just can't see it. And I am not one for just splurging on just spending like that on myself, because I think it was my upbringing. Anywho, no, but I did let them give me a demonstration on it, and OMG, I love that machine. That is definitely in the on my radar for way in the future, as a way in the future purchase. And I mean, like, maybe so far in the future that it'll be $700 by the time I get it. Anywho, the good thing is that one of the other machines that they were showing me and it's almost comparable to this machine, except for it has more stitches, it's computerized, it was a Brother, I forgot the name, but it was a Brother machine, and it was about $1,500, which I'm like, do you know what I can do with another $400? Because the price for this machine is $1,000, $999, and then there's tax, but whatever. So about $1,000 for this machine. Yes, it's a basic machine, but my one thing that really got me on this machine was the heart space. Like it's ridiculous. I am sick of fighting and struggling with quilts to get through when this can happen. Like all of this room right here, right? When they took the measuring tape to the Brother and then to this one, and it's not the Brother industrial machine, it's just the Brother computerized one. When they took the measuring tape, because they were really trying to get that extra $400 out of me. Because Stu was like, yes, right? Because it did pretty neat things. It really did. But, oh yeah, guys, the neatest thing that the Brother did, it sewed sideways. It did embroidery, which I have a little Brother off camera that you guys can't see. And it was like $200. I love it. It does what it's supposed to do. It does tiny embroidery. But this machine did bigger embroidery and it sewed sideways. I was like, when I saw that machine hop sideways, I was like, so. But wait, no, I had to just really stay focused on my budget, right? So, but when they did the measurements, I think this was like 8 inches wide on both machines, but this was 10 inches high, and the Brother was like 8 inches. So that extra 2 inches, I was like, okay, well, that's all I really wanted for. I don't need it to do everything. Because honestly, I don't use every stinking stitch on this Brother. No way will I ever think that I will use all those hundreds of stitches on the other Brother, but you never know, because never say never. So I got this machine, and then I really got to start feeling, I've been feeling like I needed a place to put it. And so, I mean, I have this table. It's sitting on the table that we got from IKEA that goes up and down, but it's awesome. I love this table. It cranks up and down that we got on super duper clearance. So everything was really falling into place for us as far as making me an area, except for the fact that, you know, this area used to be the dining room. There was a beautiful dining room table. It was, I think Stu got it from Mexico. So it was wood, like a lot of things at our home. It was ornately carved. The chairs were very ornate, and it was beautiful, but it was very, very, very uncomfortable. We used it all of maybe 3 times since I've been in this home. You can never get comfortable. Cushions, I don't care. It was uncomfortable. And so we just didn't use it. This beautiful table was taking up space that we could not afford to, real estate pretty much, that we couldn't afford to give up, because it just did not fit with our lives. So my husband, we were trying to give this table to everybody. My cousin, his daughter, and her boyfriend, anyone that we thought that we could keep in the family. And finally, my husband just listed it on Craigslist, and people snatched it up immediately and paid more. A woman paid more for it than what he was asking. So everything pretty much worked out right as far as we're concerned. Well, I think it was really difficult for my husband to give up that table, even though he didn't buy it with me. But whatever. Table's gone, and now it's time to set up my space. We went to IKEA. I don't know if I told you guys this last week, but if I did, I'll just make it quick. Then we got two bookcases in the clearance. Oh, see, look, there I go. I'm telling you, Stu says it all the time. It is hard to photograph chocolate. So we went to the clearance section in IKEA first. We got there first thing in the morning, and we got 2 bookcases for less than the price of one. Yay. I made curtains for a half of a bookcase because I'm really concerned with this big old window facing my fabric about sun bleaching, because it does happen. Your fabric can be bleached from the sun and even just from your regular lights that you have in your home. So what a lot of people do, and what Terry does, even with her quilts and stuff, is that she rotates them out and she refolds stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I want to hurry up and try to run through all this fabric. Yeah, good luck with that, Nikki. I hear you out there. Okay. So, anyways, I've been trying to get this area together. When I first moved everything from, I used to keep my fabric in my laundry room, and now when I moved it out into the shelves, it was pretty neat. But now the setup wasn't working. There's a big old industrial sewing machine in here, which was given to me, which I can never get to work. So we have to move that out of this area so I can have more space. And I went to Michael's and I got a lot of boxes and containers to organize all my scissors and everything, because I really do need to do a big overall organization of my notions and things, because it's getting pretty much out of control. Yeah, so right now it's a mess. It went from being neat to being a mess. But having said that, in the last week, I managed to, in this mess, whip out 2 quilts. I'll put pictures of them on the blog, and I also put pictures of them in the group. And if you follow me on Instagram, then you've already seen that I made a denim quilt out of a whole lot of my husband's old jeans, and I have like a ton more. Unbelievable, a super ton more. And which I wasn't going to say that, but and I made, and out of flannel that I ended up getting for a super duper price from Joann's. And I made that as a going away gift for one of our friends' sons, who ended up being, well, he's one of our friends too. So I saw him last week after we came back. We came back from New Mexico. We got home like Sunday at 11 o'clock. So not Sunday, Saturday at like 11:30 at night. Got up, sold the table, had to end up delivering it to the young couple that bought it. Came back, went to a dinner engagement that we had, and that's where I saw Corey, and I was like, Corey, you want an apron or a quilt? Because I made aprons for his parents, and he wears his father's apron when he cooks for them. And Corey just looked at me and said, quilt, of course. And I'm like, oh, of course, because, you know, who says quilt, of course? I just really wasn't thinking that everybody was like cool with getting quilts. But what the heck do I know? So I talked myself into having to make a quilt in pretty much a week, because, you know, we had a week between his going away party and, you know, that get together. And I did it. I cut up the denim, and I went to Joann's, and I was grabbing the flannel fabric, different kinds of flannel fabric. Because I thought it would look good. I just like it, the combination together. I did it in a rag quilt fashion, which means that you put, when you quilt, you put, I'm looking for fabric to show you guys. So, here's some denim. Imagine that. Okay. So I can pretty much kind of show you guys what I did. So, here's the denim, right? And then I went and bought flannel. I bought this regular flannel, just gray flannel. And then I bought some colored flannel. And then I had like flannel left over from making various quilts for my kids. So I mixed it up, right? But I used the long length of the pants, right? So instead of sewing down the jeans, I glue basted the flannel to the jeans initially, okay? So I picked a size. The size that I picked was 6.5 inches, because that was the size of a ruler that I had, which was long and wide. It's like 6.5 by 24 inches, right? I was at Terry's house when we started. So I started that quilt on a Wednesday. And she was cutting things up and I was sewing things, right? So 6.5 by 24 or whatever, but 6.5 wide, right? Got it done. Cut the flannel just 6.5. And the beautiful thing about projects like these, because it was going to be a rag quilt, is that they are very, very, very forgiving. You can be off a little, or it's just super forgiving, and I love it, right? So when it came time to sew the pieces together, I was like, ooh, should I sew down the middle to make sure that it holds? But Terry was like, no, just iron it, it'll hold. Now, when you're making a rag quilt, your right side goes up, and I did not put any flannel or not flannel, any baddie in between the layers, because this is the denim it's thick enough, and the flannel too, it's pretty thick, which is a good thing, because that quilt ended up being very heavy. And now he said it's just great. Like I didn't have to worry about getting through an extra layer. Okay, so let me calm down. I just want to make sure I tell you guys everything, because it turned out so cool. I cannot wait to make one for the house. Okay, so while I was at Terry's house, I just ironed the pieces together, and then I laid them out and I sewed them end to end to make a quilt the length that I wanted, because Corey is a tall guy. He's as tall as Stu, so that's about 6'2", right? And then once I had the lengths together, then I was going to sew the width together. But I did not get that done at Terry's house. I came home, and during the week, I just laid the things out on the floor and just was sewing length to length to length. So I thought was pretty long enough. Well, pretty long, or long enough. And how I would gauge that was I would physically lay down on top of the denim, and if the quilt was like longer than me, a little longer than me, then I was like, okay, that's cool. Then I picked a size, and then I just went with that size. It was pretty big, though, let me tell you. So when I was home too, I decided that just ironing the flannel and the denim together, it wasn't enough for me. They shifted a little too much for me. And yes, this is very forgiving, but I didn't want to not sew a flannel in or a denim in, or just, have an issue. So instead of sewing down the middle to keep the layers together, what I did was I ran some glue. Some Elmer's washable glue down in between, just one swipe, and not a very thick one, just to hold the layers together, and it worked like a dream, okay? And I put it in the middle because I knew that I wasn't going to be sewing in the middle, right? So one of the things that I did wrong at Terry's house was, I thought, I was going about it as a regular quilt, even though I knew it was a denim quilt. Sometimes you just get used to quilting. So this is the right side, this is the wrong side, right? When you sew quilts together, you use your 1/4 inch seam, and you sew wrong sides together, and you sew down the wrong sides, right? But when you're making a rag quilt, that does not work. You have to sew... Is that right? No, you sew right sides together. I'm sorry. See, it's all kind of confusing. Okay. Listen. Do as I do, not as I say. Okay. So when you make regular quilts, you put your right sides of fabrics together, and then you sew down. So when you open, it'll look like this. Okay. When you make a rag quilt, what you want to do is put wrong sides together and sew down. So then when you are done, you will have your ridge where you snip, 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 snip on the right side. And that's what makes it rag. So you have this fabric in the front, and you just go and you get scissors and you clip your life away, because that's what I put on this. I'm clipping my life away. So you clip, and then you should wash it, and then it rags, and then you give it as a gift. So I did that, right? The only thing was, I almost just really kept forgetting that it was a rag quilt. So I came up with, Terry and I, we were saying denim side down. So we knew that for us, when I went to go sew this on my sewing machine, I would make sure that both the denim sides were out, and then I would put the denim side down. So that worked for me. And that was one quilt done. The second quilt that I did was a t-shirt quilt for my stepdaughter's boyfriend, Jake. I had promised, I had given him an IOU for a t-shirt quilt for his birthday, and that was a very good idea. He loved it. Then he brought me a duffel bag full of t-shirts. And I promised him his quilt in a week. I don't know what I was thinking, but it never happened. So many more things came up. Life happened. People started like literally dying. It was crazy. Anywho, yeah. And I got it together, but I couldn't get the sizing right. It was just not working out for me. And I hadn't seen them for a couple of weeks, and they were coming down this past Sunday, to see us, and I had to have that guy's quilt done. So I did it. I knocked it out. I just got over myself. I picked this one size for his t-shirts, cut them out, ironed the fusible to them. Ironed the fusible to the t-shirts, cut them out to that one size, and he does not like a thick quilt, so I just use flannel, like plaid. I love plaid flannel for guys' quilts. I want a quilt like that, but I just love it for guys' quilts. And it went so well with the t-shirts for the backing. He loved it. And for his quilt, I did a technique where you use the backing for the binding. So it really wasn't too many steps I had to do. The hardest part of his quilt was sewing. The most tedious part was sewing all of the fusible to the back of the t-shirt fabric. After that, the hardest part was figuring out a size and just going with it and letting everything go. Then I quilted it. I used my Juki for his quilt with a regular needle, and I just quilted around the stitch lines, and then I just folded up the binding and sewed around it, and then that was it. And after I was done, I threw it in the washing machine, regular washing machine on a regular cycle, and I dried it and took it out, and so it was all crinkly and soft and not stiff, and great for when he came here to get it, and he loved it. I do have a couple more t-shirt panels that are already fused with the fuse, but I told him I was either gonna make a quilt for their dog, and he's like, or a pillow, so he wants the pillow. And I didn't even give him a promise date on that. He'll probably get it for Christmas. I don't care. But it has to get done. So just to show you guys what I'm talking about. And also, this is when I pause, I'm really thinking of like 50 million things to tell you. So I had some leftover fusible, this stuff on the back. Okay, so I had some leftover fusible, and for those of you who don't know, a year ago, January 2015, my sister experienced a miscarriage, but the baby was due in a couple of weeks. You know, so my niece, she had to deliver the dead baby, and I had started making bibs, sewing bibs, and receiving blankets, and crocheting blankets. I made her a little, I crocheted her a sweater with her, knitted her a sweater with her initial on it. Her name was Elin. Anyways, she is now an angel. She didn't make it, but my sister kept a couple of things that she had bought for Elin, and she gave them to me, and she was like, well, can you make it a quilt? And I'm like, well, that's pretty stinking morbid. As a matter of fact, I have a quilt that I started for Elin that I just could not bring myself to finishing. But now, absence and, time and just distance and time, it makes it all easier. Not super easy, but it makes it easier to do. So I had some scraps of the fusible left, and the fusible that I use for t-shirt quilts, it's a Paylon, I think it's 91F. It's a shirting fusible. So it really is not just a lightweight, flimsy fusible. It gives a nice heft to the t-shirts. And it's not the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive. Anyways, I had some left, and I was like, oh, gosh, I can use it to cut out Elin's onesies, and so I can make my sister something for Mother's Day, which is fast approaching. Like, where did the time go? So this is just one of the pieces from her onesie that my sister had. And my idea for it is, and I'm looking to see if I can get to, no, I can't. Okay, so get to, because you're sitting on top of all my stuff. I was trying to get to the denim. So my idea, because I have a lot of denim left over that's cut to, is to kind of sort of do a cathedral window pillow out of denim with these scraps in the middle. I think it'd be super cute. I think it'd be very sturdy because my sister uses her stuff, and I think it'd be really cuddly too. I'll let you guys know how that works out. So yeah, hopefully I'll be done with that within the next couple of weeks. I don't think I'm going to see her for Mother's Day, but I think I know I'm going to see her in May. So it has to be done by May 20th because I'm going down to party that weekend with my cousin's baby mama. So I'm going to be taking my sister her stuff and maybe my mom's Mother's Day stuff. I don't know what she wants this year. It's like difficult. Okay, now, you guys, one of my friends is having a baby. They're everywhere. Everybody's having a baby, right? But She used to be our, well, she still is, our favorite barista at Starbucks. We've known her for years. I went to her bridal shower. We got invited to her wedding, but we couldn't make it because of the schedule. And her and her husband, they got a house. The house got robbed. It was crazy. But now they are in good places. They have dogs. So they're so cute. Anyways, she's pregnant. And she told us, like, she was so happy when she found out. She told us before she had told a whole lot of people, which totally makes me excited because, you know, there are certain people who you don't see every day. I know you guys feel me on this. Who you don't see every day, you don't talk to every day, but you just feel like your family and you just love them. And it's the same for Stephanie because she is such a good person and always so positive and tries to see the best in everybody. Anywho, when she said she was pregnant, I got so excited because I can make the baby things. Well, her mother is like a quilter, so I don't have to worry about making her anything quilty. That means I get to I get to knit and crochet baby stuff. Yay! And I know people that may be trying to get pregnant, and I'll get to knitting and crocheting your baby stuff as soon as I know that it's a for real. Okay, here you go. So, but look, so the first, I want to make her a pair, the baby, whatever the baby is. The baby is due in November. Finally, she announced it on Instagram and Facebook. We had to act like we didn't know anything. Oh, I'm so happy for you, right? She finally announced it, and now I can start doing the stuff. So I use some, I don't even know what this yarn is, you guys. Don't even get me. This is some beautiful yarn. I know I tried to, I shouldn't even hold it close. I tried to make me a pair of socks or something with it, and I ripped it out. So because the baby is due in November, which is when my baby was born, I can make it nice, cute fall colored things, which is my favorite color. So I cast on for the baby a pair of socks. Look how tiny this thing is. It is like the super duper tiniest. Like, oh, it's adorable. So to make a pair of socks, you guys know you need to know how to knit to purl to slip knit to knit two together. This one is going to be an afterthought heel because I went on Ravelry to look for baby socks. And all of them had like a heel gusset, no thank you. And I finally found one with an afterthought heel. I think I paid $2.50 for it. So that's cool. It's so worth $2.50 to not even have to think about the math, measuring and all that. I'll just go from the pattern. And I will put the link to the pattern in the group and on the blog. Well, in the group. So go to, because if you're interested in knitting, you'll like be on Ravelry. And if you're not, then why not? Okay. So yeah, I cast on the baby a pair of socks. When I cast on the baby socks, I was using a size 1 Chalgu needles. And here they are right here. Circular needles. And I did not like how hard the cable was. It just, my hands got tired because to me the cable was way too, it had too much give, too much resistance, not too much give, too much resistance for me. So what I did was because I was lazy, I did not go looking for my other pair of size 1 signatures because I have 2 pairs of size 1 signatures. So I just took my socks off of these signatures and I just cast on the baby socks on here. And that worked out like a dream. I'm loving it. I have like 3 more rows of ribbing to do, and then I can start with the rest of the sock. So yeah, I'm actually making a sock out of fingering weight yarn and size 1 needles, and I started this in the bed so it's easier for me to knit at night. I used to try to do a needle turn applique at night. That wasn't working out for me, or in the car. That's a definite no. But it's good to have a knitting project on the go because I can do that in the car. Okay. I don't think there's anything else I want to share right now. This week, I was going to say what I hope to accomplish, but really what's on the radar for this week is Saturday, Terry, Stu, and I will be going out to Primitive Gatherings Quilt Shop. Is it called Primitive Gathering? Primitive Quilt Shop in Murrieta, California. This is our second trip there. The first time we were unprepared for the greatness. This time we are so ready. We have an agenda. I know what I need to get, where I'm going first, and my budget and everything. So we're going to get that. And I'm also going to pick up something for you guys because I haven't been crazy like putting this out there really like I should. But we are having a sew along. It already started. I don't know if anyone is sewing along, but if you are, good. And if you're not, that's okay. You can start whenever. Even if you had something that you were working on and you put to the side, you can bring it out and you can enter it into the sew along. Put it into the sew. If it's done, you can put it into the completed sew along. What is it? It's not even a blog. I'm so rusty at doing this. The thread in the Ravelry group. So there are 2 threads because I did that, right? Excuse the ugly nail polish. Okay. There are 2 threads in the Ravelry group. One for discussion about what you're sewing, what you're thinking about sewing, for any tips or whatever. And then the second thread is for completed items. So put your completed items into that group, into that thread. And then anything that you want to share or you're thinking about doing, you can just go ahead and enter. But for one of the prizes, I am going to pick up something from Primitive in California. Because there's another shop somewhere, but Primitive in Murrieta, California for you guys. That one of the other prizes will be, I'm thinking it's going to be an apron panel. I was thinking I was going to make an apron. We will see. Maybe it's either going to be an apron made by me or an apron panel. We will see how I'm feeling. But the sew along doesn't end until July. So there are plenty of things that you guys can make if you want to be a part of the sew along. You can make coasters. You can make, what else can you make? Quilts. You can make napkins. You can make anything. You can make scarves. You can make jewelry. If you are on Creative Bug, there are lots of things that you can sew. You can make aprons. You can sew shoes. There are plenty of patterns. Also, if you guys are looking for inspiration, go to Pinterest. That's what I do. I find color inspiration, and I also find just overall project inspiration from Pinterest and also Instagram. Okay? Okay, so let's get to the positive thought for this podcast, and that is invest in yourself. It is okay. Give yourself permission to invest in yourself. If you have a budget, that's fine. Stick with the budget and stay in it. But as long as you set yourself up a budget and you stay in it and you get what you can, what you're supposed to, then you are completely worth it. And even if you go over budget sometimes, you're worth it. Like, we do not invest enough in ourselves. I am all the time seeing people with these GoFundMe this and GoFundMe that and GoFundMe, I never see I want to fund you. Like, let me fund you page, So don't forget to look out for yourself. That is just pretty much it. You are doing a great job. You run your home. You run your life. You are a good person. You are creative. You should invest in yourself. Okay? Yeah? Good. And if you do invest in yourself because I said so, then let me know what it was, because I might want to get the same. Okay, that's it, you guys. I have to clean the house and yada 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 before the kids come home. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Knitting, crocheting, sewing, quilting, cooking, baking, all that good stuff, and doing whatever makes your heart happy. And I hope that you guys will join me next time here in my home, in my area, where I'll be positively crafting. Bye.